Hello everyone, welcome to Analytics with Asmi. In this video, we are going to see a date and time function in Excel. First, let us understand how dates are stored in Excel. Here you can see a table. Here you have three columns: short date, long date, and a time. Currently, I don't have any date and time format here, like this. So here you can see we have a date format here: 01/01/2024. But these are just numbers. So if you receive a data from a colleague or from a client, you might get a column where only numbers are present. You might get a number similar to this. So if you go on home ribbon here, so let me select this. If you go to home ribbon here in a number group, here you can see it is a general formatting. Now what exactly are these numbers? Well, the Excel consider here the 1st January of 1900 as a day number 1. So all days are numbered from that day respectively. That's why here you can see here is a 44197. So the number you are seeing here are basically number of days past 1st of January 1900. So if you have correct formatting to this date cells like this, you can going to see underlying number are currently dates. So if you do formatting here as a date, you will get something like this. You will get in a date form. But if it is a general format, then you will see the number like this. Okay. Now notice if I select this number now from this column. Okay. And here if I go in this number group and if I click this drop down, here you will get a two option: short date and the long date. Short date is like this date 1/1/2024. So you will get a date like this, and for long date you will get something like this: Friday, January 2021. Okay, so let's apply this formatting to the column. So first we'll put this short date here. Now it's looking something better. Okay, and for this we'll apply a long date. Here go to this drop down and give this long date. Correct. Now make a little column wider. Okay, yeah. Now I get a longer version of dates here. Now in the third column here you can see it's a time. Okay, if you look different from dates, but they are still these are also numbers. Here all time are in fraction of 1. Okay, now look at this fraction column. Here we have number from 0 to 1: 0.25, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.75 and 1. So these are in fraction from 0 to 1. Now if I just select these numbers, okay, and make a copy of those and apply a time formatting here. So I will do Control C and Control V, and if I apply here a time formatting, here is a time formatting. Now here you can see 12 a.m. is 0 according to the Excel. Okay, 0.25 which is a quarter of 6 a.m. and 0.5 is a halfway of a day. Okay, it's a 12 p.m. Now if we go to the one here, it is considering as a 12 a.m. So it store a value from 0 to 1 in a fractions. Now let's apply a time format here. Okay, and we'll see what are the time for all these numbers. So we'll go here, click this drop down and apply time. Now according to these fractions we are getting some time here. So this is the way how you can format your date in short date, long date and in time. Now we have understood how dates and times are stored in Excel. Now next we are going to see some custom formatting, and I will show you some of the keyboard shortcuts for some common date functions. So if we start for this spreadsheet, here we have date, time, date and time. Now I am going to show you couple of functions here which are very quick way of importing today's date and today's time. So I am going to show you couple of different methods which are dynamic and static. Now if you want to put today's date in this spreadsheet, there is a formula that help us to do that. So you have to write here is equal to today, tap to select, and here just you have here no argument. You have to just close this parenthesis and hit enter. Now here you can see I am getting the today's date here. Okay. So it is a dynamic formula which is going to update according to your computer system. So whatever date is mentioned in your computer system, it will show here. Okay. But if I check tomorrow, it's going to change. But there are occasions where you need to hardcode the date into the cell. For example, in accounting industry, lot of the time there is need to have a historical date in spreadsheet. We can still use today function for that, but we need to use a keyboard shortcuts to type function in. So if I want to hardcode the today's date in the cell, it's never going to change. Then we have a keyboard shortcut called control plus semicolon. Now let me remove this and use a keyboard shortcut as control plus semicolon. Now this is a hardcode date. Okay, it is not going to change. Same way we can do for a time. So for time also, there is a function called as now is equal to now, and here again you have to close the parenthesis. You don't have any argument here and press enter. Here you are going to get a date and time. Now if you want to hardcode this time, so you can use a keyboard shortcut as control plus shift plus semicolon. So let me remove this, and here I am using a keyboard shortcut as control shift and semicolon. Now here you can see you are getting a time only. Okay, and if you want date and time both, here what you can do, you will use the first keyboard shortcut as control plus semicolon, then give space, then control shift semicolon, then it will give you time. So this way, by using a keyboard shortcuts, we can get date, time and date and time. So again I am writing here for date you have to use control plus semicolon here, semicolon, and for time you have to use control plus shift plus semicolon. Okay, by using these shortcuts you can hardcode the date and time function here. Understood? And by using today and now function, we can get a today's date and today's time. Okay. But what if I want to change a formatting here? Select, now I'm selecting this row which is giving some date here. Now we have date formatting selected here. Here you can see in the drop down, you can see here the date is given. So it is already formatted. Now if I want to change it to a long date format, but we have more options. If you click this drop down, here you can see we have more options in more number formats. So if I click here more number format, here at the bottom you can see here the custom section. Here you can customize the formatting to the cell. So here if we go down here, you can see a date format. So here M is considered as a month, D is considered as a day, and Y is considered as a year. Suppose we want a number like this 0104 year in 2020. So it is in this format. Now suppose I want something like Jan 2020. I want it as Jan 2020. So I have to type here. Now I can write here mmm slash YYYY. So here you can see here I am getting, I don't want here slash. Here you can see here Jan 2020 is there. So here you can change your date format and you can customize your date format here. You can even change the time format here as well. So by using this custom, you can customize your date and time format according to your requirement. Understood? Now here you can see it is a Jan 2020. So we can change the date format like this. So suppose in a company they are keeping the date format as Jan 2020. Then you can go to the custom formatting and you can change it to this format. Okay. Now we are going to work on different date functions commonly used in Excel. Here you can see a table. Here we have so many columns. So first is date column, we will consider as a reference. Then invoice total, day number, day name, month number, month name, year, weekday, and whether it is weekend or not. Now what I want to do here, I want to extract certain part of this date in separate columns. I'm going to use this date as a reference here to extract the different parts. Like I will extract the day number, day name from this date, month number, month name from this date, year, weekday, all these we are going to extract from this date reference. Okay. Now first we are going to see for a day number. So here if we want to extract a day number, here we are going to use the function as is equal to day. Okay, here it returns the day of a month number 1 to 31. Tap to select and here you have to give a serial number. So serial number we have to give this cell reference. Okay, so our date in date column, this is our cell reference. So I am selecting here A4 bracket complete and hit enter. Now here you can see here the day number is coming as a 10. But here this date format is a American format. So my computer system is following the American format. That's why it is first it is coming as month, then day, then year. In India, you might be following the day, month and year format. But my computer is following the American format. That's why day number is coming as here as a 10. Okay. So don't misunderstood. Okay. So here I am double clicking here and where I'm getting the day number for all the rows. Now next function is day name. So when you want to extract the day name, you have to use a function called as text. So here I am writing a text. It converts a value to a text in a specific format. Okay. So tap to select. Here we have to use the two arguments, value and format text. So value will be our cell reference. Okay. And format text will be, now if I want a short name for a day, suppose I want just a day name as a Thursday. So it will come, I want a short name as a THU for the Thursday. So I have to write in inverted comma DDD. And if I want a full name as a Thursday, then I have to write 4 times D. Okay, first we will see a short name, bracket complete and hit enter. Here you can see it is coming as a THU. It's a short name. That's why we have written only the 3D. Okay, now if I want a long day here, so I will add here one more D and hit enter. Now here you can see I am getting a full name. This is a Thursday. So I have used here the text function for this. Okay, and I am doing the flash fill. Now next is month number. For month number again we are going to use here month function is equal to month. Tap to select and here again you have to give the serial number. So serial number means cell reference here. Our cell reference is this date and bracket complete, hit enter. Here you can see the month number is 12 as it is following an American format. Okay, it is a 12 month. 12 month which is December. Now we are getting for all the rows. Now next is month name. So whenever there is a day name, month name, you have to use a text function here. So is equal to text, tap to select, and here again we are getting two arguments, value and format text. So value will be our cell reference, comma, and format text again if you want a short month. Suppose I want just a Jan, then I have to write MMM. And if I want a January full name, then I have to write MMMM, 4 times M. Okay, first we will go for the short name. So in inverted comma, MMM, inverted comma complete, bracket complete, hit enter. Here you can see I am getting a December, DEC only. Okay, short name. Now if I want a full name here, I will add here one more M, 4 times M, and hit enter. Now here you can see we are getting a full name as a December. This is a month name. Now next function is year. For year again you have to use is equal to year function. Tap to select, and here you have to give just a cell reference, bracket complete, hit enter. We are getting a 2020 as a year. Here you can see 2020 year. Now flash fill it for all the rows. Now next function is weekday. So here we are going to use a function as is equal to weekday. Okay, it's so simple. Tap to select. Here we have two arguments, serial number and return type. So serial number again our cell reference date, okay, and comma, and here you have to put the numbers here. If you are considering Sunday as a weekday 1, then you have to write a number 1. If you are considering Monday as a weekday, first day of your weekday, then you should write a number as a 2. So I am going to consider Monday as my first day of a week. That's why I am going to write here 2. Okay, 2 and bracket complete. Hit enter. Now here you can see it's a 4, means it's a Thursday. Okay, Thursday, because Monday is considering as a day 1, then means 4 as considering as a Thursday. Now if we flash fill it, we are getting the number weekday for all the rows. Okay, now once again I will repeat, for the day number you have to use the day function. For day name you have to use the text function. Here you have two arguments, okay, cell reference and the format text. Okay, for month you have to use a month. For month name again you have to use the text function. For year you have to use year. For weekday you have to use a weekday. Now if you want to see whether it is a weekend or not, okay, so here we have to use the conditional clause. Here we are going to write if as a conditional clause. So here we'll write first condition is equal to if, tap to select. Here first we have to mention the condition. So our condition is if our weekday is greater than 5. Okay, we have given the condition here because we have considered Monday as a day 1 and Friday as a weekend, which is a 5. If it is a greater than 5 and if it is true, then you should write yes, and if it is a false, then you should write as no. Okay, inverted comma complete, bracket complete. So we have written this if conditional clause here. We have mentioned the condition if this weekday is greater than 5 and it is true, then in inverted comma you have to write the, if it is true you have to write yes, and if it is a false you have to write no. You should mention it in inverted comma and bracket complete. Hit enter. Here so this is weekday or not, so it is not, so it is written as a no. Okay, so we will flash fill it, and here you can see 6, it's greater than 5, that's why it is coming as a, this is a weekend. Okay, this is weekend, this is also weekend. Okay, so this is how we have completed our table. Now if we consider your right hand side, here we have again a table. Here year, month and day is given, and we have to combine this as a date. So for that what we have to use here, we have to use here a date function. So here you will write is equal to date tap to select. Here you have to write year, month and day. So year is our this. Okay, select this, comma, month, comma, day. Bracket complete, hit enter. Now you can see here we are getting the date. You can flash fill it. Okay, and same way we can do for a time. Here we are going to use a time function is equal to time, tap to select. Here we have to give three arguments, hour, minute, second. So hour is 12, select the cell reference, comma, minute cell reference and second cell reference and bracket complete, hit enter. Now here you can see we are getting 12:20 p.m. as a time and we will flash fill it. So this is how you have to use the date function and the time function if you are getting year, month and day as a separate in the columns. Okay, now we will move to the time function. Here again we have to use a simple function hour, minute and second. Here we have given it's given the time and we have to extract the hour, minute and second from this time column. Okay, so here we are going to use is equal to hour. Okay, tap to select and give the cell reference, bracket complete, hit enter. For minute also is equal to minute, tap to select, give the cell reference and hit enter. And for second is equal to second, tap to select, give the cell reference and hit enter. Now we will flash fill it. Here you can see we are not we here in the table we don't have minute and second here, that's why we are getting the 0, and for hour we are getting from 0 to 23. Okay, I will put this sheet in the description box so that you can practice along with me. Okay, now we are going to see few more formula which are super powerful. First we will see workday and workint. Okay, in table we have seen that we have a task name, different tasks is given, start date for that task, work days. So these column C means number of days is going to complete the task from Monday to Friday. Okay, and so we need to work on the finish date here based on the start date and work days. Work days Intel is same, it's international date. Okay, that's why they are the same only, but some in some company they are using the work days and in some companies they are using the birthdays Intel. So both are same, you can use anyone. Okay, so we will calculate the 5 days from this start date. Okay, but it won't consider the weekends, right? Now for that we have to use the formula as is equal to workday, tap to select. Here we have three arguments, start date, days and holidays. The start day will be this the starting date. Okay, work days will be how many days it's going to take and holiday will be the public holidays. So in this second table we have mentioned the different holidays for the UK, so we have to consider this column. Okay, so we'll first argument will consider as this before, comma, then work days C4, then we have to select the range of our holidays. So here we, we are considering this range. Okay, and bracket complete and hit enter. So after calculating the start date and after adding this workday 5 excluding the weekends, we are getting this as a finish date. Okay, so we have used the three argument, start date, days and holidays. Holidays we have used this list. So if you are calculating for the India, then you have to mention all the Indian holidays in a particular column, then it will consider as a range of a holiday. Okay, so this is how you have to calculate the finish date by using the workday function. Now what is workday Intel function? So this is pretty much same, but it takes into account the international weekend and holidays. Okay, so let's delete this, and we are going to use now workday intel function. For that, you have to write is equal to workday intel function. Here returns the serial number of date before and after a specified number of work days. So tap to select, and here again we have a start date, day, weekend and holidays. Okay, so here we have a 4 argument. First is the start date, so we'll consider this as a start date. Okay, then days, we have to consider this as a workdays intel because they are same. Okay, and third argument, you have to, now in some countries weekend is considering as a Sunday Monday, in some countries weekend is considered as a Monday Tuesday. So according to the your country or according to your company, you have to select here the weekends. Suppose here I am not considering as a Saturday Sunday, we are going to consider as a Sunday Monday here. Okay, so I am going to select here the 2. Okay, I am going here, going select here 2, then comma, then we have to select the range here. So I'm going to select here the range, and hit and bracket complete and hit enter. Now here you can see we are getting the finish date here. So here we have used the 4 argument. First is start date, second is number of days to complete, so we have considered this workdays intel as a uh, second argument, and third argument, if your weekend start on different days apart from the Saturday Sunday in your location, like we have considered as a Sunday Monday, you have to use a second 2 as a number as a third argument, and then the fourth argument is a holiday range. So our holiday range is given as a UK holiday, so we have selected this range. Okay, and we got the this finish date. So this is how you have to use the workday and workday intel function. Now let's see how we can work on the network and network days int. This is very similar to a previous function, except it starts with the start date and end with the end date. It takes only these 2 arguments to complete the task. Now here again we have some columns. Here we have task name, start date, end date, network days and network days international. Okay, so here we are going to use the network days. So here we will write is equal to network days returns the number of whole work days between the 2 dates. So here you have to mention the dates here. So whatever dates you are mentioning here, it will consider the, it will calculate the days between these 2 dates. So here the start date and end date is given. So I will select this by tab, then we'll take this B18 as a start date, comma, end date will take is as a this C18, and we have to take the range again. So our range is this, and we will use F4 to lock it and hit enter, and we are getting the network days. So network days are, now this is in date formatting. We have to change it into a dates. So we have to change it to the general. Okay, we'll change it to the general. Now this is we are getting again in numbers. So network days we are getting as a 66. So between these 2 dates we are getting a 66 days. Now network intel is pretty much similar. So what we have to do here, we have to use is equal to again, and here network dates intel, it will also consider the same argument. Start date is this B18, end date is this 618. Then here again you have to tell the weekend. So we are going to consider here the Tuesday, Wednesday as a weekend. Okay, we will consider this as a weekend and we will write as a 4 as a third argument. Okay, so we'll write here 4 and again we will select our range. So this is our range. Okay, and we'll press F4 to lock it and hit enter. Now again we are getting the 66. Okay, so this is how we are going to calculate the days between the two days. Two dates. If the two dates are given, start date and end date, you can going to calculate the number of days by using the network days or network days INTL. One thing again I forgot to tell you here. Here the date is in American format. That's why first is mentioned as a month, then day and then year. Okay, that's why it's coming as a 66. So whenever in network days you are getting some number, it is excluding the weekends and the holidays which is mentioned in the range. Okay, so now next function we are going to see the Datedif function. So Datedif also doing the same. Datedif will calculate the difference between the two dates, but the difference here is, here in the network days it is excluding the weekends and the holidays, and in date difference it will consider all the dates. Okay, so in the interview also they might ask the difference between the network days and the Datedif function. Then you have to mention that in network days we are getting the days excluding the weekends and the holidays, and in the Datedif function we are getting the difference between the two dates. So we will get the total dates between the two dates. So this is the difference between network days and Datedif function. Now let's see what is the Datedif function. Now let's see the another important date function which is a Datedif function. Here you can see a employee data. Here we have a 5 column: employee number, first name, last name, date of birth and age. So here we have to calculate the age of each employee. We have to calculate how old they are. Okay, so now we'll first write the today's date because this is important, which we need in a Datedif function. So here we'll write our function is equal to today. As you know that from today we'll get the today's date. Tap to select, complete the parenthesis and hit enter. So this is today's date, 29th of December 2023. Okay, this is in American format. Now we have to calculate the age here. Okay, so for calculating the age we use Datedif function, date diff. But here you can notice that nothing is coming underneath. Normally when we type letters of function Excel, it recognizes from its library and it shows something underneath. Now if I put a bracket over here, now Datedif is coming, but it's not showing with the argument. It is without the arguments. Basically this function doesn't exist in Excel library, although function doesn't exist, which is a strange. So here we will not get a help from the Excel. So here we have three arguments. First is date of birth, second is today's date, and third you have to write the format in which we have to calculate the age. So first argument, which is date of birth, so we'll take this as a date of birth, comma, then today's date, this is today's date, comma, then we have to write in which we want our format, date to display. So here in years I want, that's why I have to write here Y. If you want it in months, you should write M, and if you want in days you should write D. Okay, here we are going to calculate in years, that's why I am going to write here Y. So in double inverted comma Y, it complete and bracket complete and hit enter. Now here we are getting a 19 age. So employee 1 is having age 19. Okay, now if we flash fill it here, now you can see here we are getting a error. Why we are getting error? Because we didn't make this B3, which is today's date, as a absolute. It is in relative form. Okay, to make it absolute, what we have to do, we have to freeze it. So for freezing, we'll take here our cursor in the formula bar and we'll press F4 to freeze it. Okay, now it is in absolute form. Hit enter, and now if you drag this down, you are getting the age. Okay, so this is one way to calculate the age. Second way is using today function. So here I am writing here is equal to Datedif, and again we have to write three argument. First argument is today's date, comma, then today function, we have to write today function, tap to select, okay, and then we have to mention the format in which you have to display the age. So here again I am writing year, y, double inverted comma complete bracket complete, and hit enter. Now you can see here we are getting a 19 as age. If we drag down, we are getting the age for all the employees. So there are two ways to calculate the age. First is using Datedif with three arguments: date of birth, today's date, which is hard code here, and year, or you have to display a format in which you have to calculate the age. And in second formula we have used the today function. So this is how you have to use the Datedif function. Now next we are going to see one more important date function, which is EOMonth. EOMonth means end of the month. Here again you can see there is a employee table. Here we can see there are three columns: employee number, month 1 to 12, and date of payment. So date of payment will be end date of a month. Okay, so we have to find the end date of a month from January to December, and we have to put this in the column. Here it is a start date. Okay, so for finding the end date for January month, okay, we have to write here is equal to EOMonth, tap to select. Here you can see there are two arguments, start date and month. Now start date will be this. Okay, so I will click this, we get this cell reference B3, comma, and then months. So for taking months, it will be either 0 or 1. If you are taking 0 means you have to find the current month. So here you can see current month is January. So it will display for the January, end date of a January. And if you want to find for the next month, then you have to write here 2. Okay, 1. Okay. So for current month it is 0, and for next month it is 1. Okay. So for we are going to find for a current month. So I am writing here 0, bracket complete, hit enter. Now here you can see we are getting 31st January 2021. My computer system is following American format, which is month, day, and year. That's why it is displaying like this. So month is January. So we are getting 31st January 2021. Okay. Now if we drag it down, you can see we are not getting a right result. So it will not work here. So if we select this, and if we do this and freeze this, if we make it as absolute here, okay, and hit enter, now it might work, but we'll see here we are getting a same result. Why we are getting same result? Because the start date is going to change every time. Okay, so I'm deleting this. For February, this will be the start date. For March, this will be the start date. Okay, so it is changing every time. So for that, what we are going to write here is equal to EOMonth, tap to select. Start date will we take this as a cell reference. Okay, and comma, and here we want to find it for a next month. So for finding a next month, we have to write here 1. Okay, for current month it is 0, for next month it is 1. Bracket complete, hit enter. Now here you can see we are getting 28th February 2021. Okay, now if we drag this now, here you can see we are getting for all the months correctly. If we see here formula, here we are getting F5. Okay, F5 and 1. So it's taking a previous row. So we are getting a correct result now. So EOMonth will give you end of the month date. Okay. Now let's see EDate. What is EDate? EDate will give you a previous month or month after this date. Okay. Now here we are going to find 2 months after this date. Okay. For that we are going to use here is equal to EDate. EDate. Tap to select. Here again start date and month. Okay, so start date will be this. So we have to find 2 months after this date. So we'll select this date. Okay, A5, comma, and months you have to how many months you want after the date after this date. So here we want 2 plus. Okay, so we'll write here 2 and bracket complete, hit enter. Now here you can see this is January. Okay, January to 2021. Here we are getting March to 2021. So after 2 months of this date, we are getting a correct result. Okay, now we will find for the 3 months. Okay, after 3 months of this date, what will be the date? So here again we'll write Edate, tap to select, start date will be same, comma 3 because we want 3 months after that date. Now here you can see it's a April. This is January. After 3 months, it is a April. Month is coming. Okay, same we will do for this month, which is equal to Edate, tap to select, start date will be same, and 10 months after this date. Okay, comma 10, and we are getting here November. This is January, we are getting a November. Okay, now if you want to see a backward results, we want to see a previous months, then what we can do here, we will write same function here is edate, tap to select, start date will be same, comma, and here months will be -1 because we want the previous month. So 1, bracket complete, hit enter. So now you can see here this is January 2021. We are getting December 2020. Okay. Now we are going to find -4 for -4 months. So here again E date, tap to select, start date will be this January month and -4. So it is coming as a September. Okay, this is January and -4 months means September. So we are getting a correct result. So this is how we have to use end of the month and end of the date function. Hope you understood it. So in this video we have seen near about 20 plus date and time function. Initially we have seen how the data is getting stored in the Excel. Then we have seen all the date related and time related functions. Hope you find this video helpful. Feel free to post your feedback or any suggestion in the comment box. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like this video and click on subscribe button. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching.